Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining another premium webinar. Super excited to have everyone on the webinar today. My name is Fred Egler. I'm the Premium and Pro product lead here at Seeking Alpha, and I'm joined by Sam Drackett, Senior Product Manager for Premium and Pro as well. So we're super excited to do another webinar today. It'll be about 30 minutes. After the call today, we'll send out a recording of the webinar a few days afterwards. So this will be recorded and sent out a few days after the call. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we're really excited today to share some new features, compare your portfolio's performance against the S&P 500 with active return view, access enhanced visual graphs in the portfolio health score tab, some other portfolio data, new portfolio data points that we'll take a look at. We'll talk about the new community feature as well, and we'll leave most of the time today for Q&A to answer your questions. So as we go through here, make sure to type your questions into the chat. Don't just wait till the end of the call to type them in. Please type them in, right as we get started, as we go along here. That'll give us some time to kind of review them as they come in. And don't just wait till the end to type in your questions. We want to make sure we get to them and can review them on the call today. So yeah, we're super excited to get to the content. Before we get to the content, just got to jump in and do the disclosure really quickly. So, past performance is no guarantee of future results. Any views or opinions expressed in the webinar do not reflect those of Seeking Alpha as a whole. Any content and tools on the platform are offered for information purposes only. Seeking Alpha Portfolio is a tool for tracking news and analysis and does not constitute a brokerage account or enable any trading activity. Seeking Alpha does not take account of your objectives or your financial situation and does not offer any personalized investment advice. Seeking Alpha is not a licensed securities dealer, broker, U.S. investment advisor, or investment bank. Okay, and with that, I will pass it over to Sam to get started on some of the awesome features we've been rolling out.
Awesome. Thanks, Fred. And thank you everyone for joining. Just going to go ahead and share my screen here. And let me know when you can see that, Fred.
We can see it.
Great.
Cool.
So also just going to enable my mouse pointer. Okay. So a couple things to cover today. We've added several new portfolio fields that can be added to the custom views. Some of these have been requested for quite a long time, so we're super excited about that. Just going through some of the smaller ones, we added 5-day performance as well as country and Altman Z-score. And just to show you where you can find those, if you go to add edit views in the portfolio, we can see that 5D performance is in the performance category. Country can be found in the trading category. And then Altman Z-score can be found in the valuation category. So remember, you can edit custom views and add any of these in any order that you like. And lastly, I want to focus on active return because this is one of the more interesting ones that we've added recently. So this allows you to compare your return of a holding to an index like the S&P 500 in this case. So to find this one in the views, if you type in active return, you'll see that it's in the performance category. And like I said, we're comparing it against the S&P 500 index. So this will apply from the date that you have the holding and then compare it in the same time frame to show the alpha percentage against that index. And we can see a couple examples here, like 6.87%. And then in cases where you might have multiple holdings, it'll show up as various because we have different holdings at different times at different prices. But this is a really powerful metric to see the current alpha in your portfolio. And we're also actively working on adding different options of different benchmarks in the near future. So just check back in hopefully the next few weeks and we'll have this with a few other options as well. And then the second thing that I want to cover, if we navigate to the health score tab and then scroll down, you'll see that we've added two new visuals here in the health score. These appear as pie charts, and the first one is asset class, and the second one is sector. So this gives you a more comprehensive view of the composition of your portfolio. So the graphs are animated. You can hover over them. You can see a breakdown, for example, of the stocks, crypto, and ETF in this current portfolio, and also the percentage weight that each of these has. So for example, you'll see Google is in this portfolio, but there's no holding, so it's not contributing to the actual weight, whereas Apple is currently 62% of this portfolio. And the functionality is identical for sector, so you can see similar breakdowns, interact with the graph. And this is a really good way to just take a deeper dive into the construction of your portfolio, make sure that it aligns with your goals and everything like that. And then the third thing that I want to cover today is we added a few additional fields to the stock screener. So here I've navigated to another tab where we have the stock screener. Remember, you can find these in the left navigation pane. So the new fields that we've added are 1 week performance, quant ranking, and then several different simple moving averages. So remember, you can always go to edit and you can search for any of these. So for example, 1 week performance is in the performance category. All of the simple moving averages are here in the momentum. And then also the quant overall ranking is in the ratings category. So again, just additional flexibility within the stock screener to help you find more of the securities that match the profile of what you might be looking for. And with that, I'll pass it back to Fred to cover some of the community features.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Super helpful. I think we saw in the chat while you were giving that demo, someone asked about 50 and 200-day moving average. So happy that you covered some of those data points in your demo there. So really helpful, really good portfolio of data points that you just went through. I did, yeah, as you said, want to cover our new community feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. 1 second. And I'm going to highlight my mouse as well. Let me know if you can see that, Sam.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, thanks. So I'm here on the new community feature. It's accessible via the left nav of your account. So if you can see home, analysis, news, market data, and community, it's right there on the left at the bottom of kind of the left nav elements here. So if you click on community, this community page will load up. And really, this is a way for Seeking Alpha Premium members to kind of converse with each other, post, comments about different topics that aren't necessarily tied to a specific stock, maybe, but are maybe tied to a specific theme or just things that you're interested in, whether that be, about the market, about, product features within Seeking Alpha. You can see on here some of the different categories that I have it sorted by trending. And the first one on here with the trending category is your best one stock for 2026. You can see there's tons of comments in there. You can follow along with this and get notifications for the comments. What feature would you like to be added to Seeking Alpha? That's very, pertinent to this webinar. So you can get in there. You can see a lot of feedbacks coming in for that one. And there's tons of other different topics that you can kind of dive into and look at within the community feature. So if I click into one of them here, you can see kind of the topic that someone has posted. You can like it, you can share it with others, and then you can comment. If you click comments, you'll see you can kind of go through and look at other people's comments as well. If you're not interested in posting a comment yourself, you certainly don't have to, but you can go in here and comment or review comments based on topics that are of interest to you. So that's just a little bit about the community feature. I will be building, more functionality related to the community feature. You can start your own conversation right here by clicking Start Conversation as well. You can also kind of manage and customize the alerts for each one of these community threads that you may be involved in and commenting on. So there's a lot of customization you're able to do in here. And again, this is just to give you more tools to engage within the Seeking Alpha Premium community. So there's a lot of people interested in looking at different investments, whether they be dividend, growth, looking at our different products like AlphaPix Pro, trying to add different features to the platform. And so this is kind of your place to directly come in and talk about some of those interesting features and interesting topics that are pertinent in the stock market today. And so with that, I think we can potentially open it up to Q&A questions that have been coming in. Let's see
Yeah,
what we
we had one asking if you're able to search currently within the community.
Yeah, so There's a feature that we're hopefully going to be rolling out quite soon. You can see it on my screen here where you click into kind of the search bar at the top, and there's an option to search within the community there. So you're able to do that through that feature there, which is admittedly a beta feature today. So if you click on the search bar, some point soon you'll be able to see that community feature come up there, and you'll be able to search within the community, and it'll come up. But that's a good point of feedback too, that like I said, we'll be adding more functionality and features to the community as we just rolled it out. You'll see more functionality there as well.
Amazing. And we also had a more high level question for the stock screener about how to compare the strength of different companies that might be in the same sector. So it could be
Mhm.
helpful to filter on sector and then just give an overview of how someone might filter on one and then go about comparing different metrics to stocks
Yep.
in that criteria.
Sure. So I can go over here to stock screener on the left. You can see my pointer is kind of at the bottom left side of the screen right now, clicking on stock screener. And I'm going to click on in the top right corner now. You can see my red pointer there, create new screen. If I click on that, all the different categories that I can choose from come up, and the different metrics for each one of those categories comes up here too. So we have pre-populated metrics. You can see market cap, quant rating, SA analyst rating, Wall Street analyst rating, and dividend yield. I'm going to add, as we just discussed, sector and industry. And I'll X out of, let's say, Wall Street analyst. I'll X out of dividend yield. And I'll just keep, and I'll X, yeah, and I'll just keep these four. And I'll go ahead and hit next. So what I can do is basically go to the sector and industry drop down, click the drop down, and select different categories, sectors, or industries to pick from. So, for example, I could take a look at gold. So, stocks kind of in the gold sector today. That's the one sector I want to look at. But again, you can kind of scroll through all of these and check them out in here if you're interested. And I'm going to click out of that. And I'm going to make sure the quant rating is set to strong buys only. And actually, I'll do buys as well for now. Um, Market cap, I will just leave blank because actually, if I leave this blank and kind of include everything, it'll show up as a column in the screen of results, which you'll be able to see in a moment. And then SA analyst, let's see what we get if I do strong buy. That whittles the list down a lot from, as you can see, from 20 when it's just quant rating to 4 when I do SA analyst as well. So right now I've basically got is a screen for the gold sector, any market cap, buys and strong buys for quant, and a strong buy SA analyst rating. Now, when I click next, I have the ability to name the screen. So I can double click in here and say something like gold screener, something like that. And I'll hit done at the bottom here. What you can see is my screener comes up now with all the details that I was just checking out. And that shows you the symbol name, the company name, the price, today's change, what the market cap is, sorted by quant rating to start, and then SA analyst and the sector as well. And if I, click, for example, the market cap header, it'll sort by largest to smallest there. I can do the inverse as well and sort by smallest to largest. I can also quickly from this search results bar, kind of like remove any of the filters that I'm interested in. So like I filtered this down from SA analyst. Maybe I wanted to check out just the quant rating things now. If I X out of it, now I see the list of 20 or so stocks on here. And again, a good way to be able to filter by sector and industry quickly in the screener. If I click on, as opposed to Xing out of these categories, if I click on the category, it'll take me back into the screener to edit this information in here. And then if I hit done, as I did before, I have a couple of options. I can save this screener, which will save on the left nav. If I hit save, it'll now show up once I hit save as on the left here. As you can see on the left nav where my pointer is, it's now coming up first as gold screener. So you can basically come back to it whenever you want to check out what's going on in this screener. And then if you want to go a step further, maybe you're more interested in tracking these from a portfolio perspective, you can actually create a new portfolio. If you click plus portfolio here within the screener, click on that. You have the ability to basically add all of these into a portfolio. You can deselect some of them if you want. I'll deselect two of them just to show you, or just one of them just to show you, and hit next. It'll ask me to add them to an existing portfolio or a new portfolio. I'm going to say new portfolio. And then once I do that, it'll actually take me to this new portfolio where I can see different information such as summary, such as health score, such as ratings, holdings, and dividends. So yeah, that's a great way to kind of filter by sector, industry in the screener, take that information all the way from the screener into the actual portfolio. Um, so yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
And someone else had a question about how to follow specific analysts and get notified when they post new articles.
Yeah. So we have a few different ways to do that. I guess one way that I'd like to show is again in the left nav. If I go to the analysis link on the left nav here, you can see my pointers hovering over it. Click on that. And you can see basically this is kind of our analysis list page or analysis landing page. There's different categories you can filter by to see various articles from people. For example, you can click on trending analysis and it'll show, the most trending articles based on, what's trending today, based on what's happening in the market. On the right side of the screen, you can see there's a section called Top Analysts, which actually shows you the top 15 analysts within Seeking Alpha based on their actual picks and how they're performing based on, a pick with conviction. So that's a buy or a sell. It's not including a hold. So these analysts here are the top analysts for Seeking Alpha based on their performance and based on their picks. If I want to follow on, I can easily do that by just hitting this plus button. I can also click on their name to check out more information about them and go to their kind of bio page to see what things they actually cover, what analysis they've done recently. But for easy access, you can see I can just basically hit follow. And for example, if I click on this person and follow them, I'll now be following that person and it'll kind of change from a plus to a minus there. And then what you'll see effectively is I'll have a new section in the left nav called My Analysts. And that's where all of the analysts who I follow will show up. So if I click My Analysts on the left, you can see the articles for this person will show up here, all the articles they've posted recently, and basically see all of the content that they're posting on a regular basis. You'll get notifications if you follow an analyst whenever they post. You can also, from this page, click on Manage Alerts on the right side and actually go and figure out what type of alerts you want to get. So if you want to customize, you can click on email or mobile and just get one or the other. So that's where you basically go to customize your alerts for each analyst. So that's just to reiterate on the analysis landing page, you can see the top analysts in Seeking Alpha based on their conviction. You can follow them by clicking on the plus button. And then you can also kind of go deeper into the top analyst feature by clicking this blue See All Top Analysts link. And if you click on that, it takes you to kind of the top analyst table, which shows you the ranking of the top analysts and information about them. So what their success rate is, their average return, the number of ratings, what their latest coverage ticker was, the coverage date. So for example, if I wanted to sort by coverage date, I would click on the header coverage date here and click it again and basically see this person just posted an article, about a week ago about ticker FSM. I'm interested in checking that out. If I click on FSM, it'll take me to the article in a new tab. So just to kind of reiterate, that's all available from the analysis landing page in the right corner. Um, and you can do that by basically clicking analysis and then clicking on top analysts there in the right side of the analysis landing page.
Awesome. And then one other request just to review again the new metrics that were added to the views and portfolios. So it might be helpful just to go over that one more time.
Yeah. Sam, you want to maybe take a stab at that and you can start sharing? That
Yep.
works. Cool. All right.
Okay. Let me know when you can see this.
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome. So if we go to a custom view in the portfolio, we're going to just re-review some of the fields that we covered in the beginning to make sure we know how to find them. So the new fields are 5-day performance, country, Altman Z-score, and active return. So you can find these in the add edit views here. And then you can either go to the specific category that they're in, or you can just search for them. So if you type in active return, you'll see that this is in performance. And then Altman Z-score can be found in the valuation column. And then 5-day performance can be found in the performance category. And finally, country can be found here in trading. And one other quick note about active return. In certain cases, this will be blank. For example, if this is in a currency other than US dollar, this will appear blank. And then also through a connected brokerage that is linked, for example, Charles Schwab, they don't provide all of the data on the original date. So this would not be possible currently to calculate in the time frame. So right now, this only works for manually added holdings, but we're going to look at that available data in the future as well.
Awesome. Um, Someone is commenting on kind of receiving a orientation or like a session to kind of learn how to get started. Um, that's kind of the point of these sessions of learning how to get started. However, we do have a video playlist that is accessible in the Video Hub, where we basically break down all the different features that we launch on a regular basis. So you can see replays of our webinars in there. So there'll be videos like this one that are 30 minutes long. There's also going to be videos that are like 1 or 2 minutes long that will show you a specific feature and how to use it. And so I'd recommend checking out that playlist. I can put a link to that playlist in the chat. And basically, you can follow that playlist and get a notification whenever something new comes out, a new video, for example, on a new feature. We launch new features on a regular basis, and so you can actually follow the playlist, and those will come back as notifications whenever we post something new.
And I saw a question in the chat just to clarify what the Altman Z-score actually is. This is a fairly old financial benchmark that is really trying to highlight credit risk. So basically bankruptcy risk for certain companies. So this is just another valuable metric that you can use in your analysis, and definitely a powerful feature to see in your portfolio across all the holdings.
Yeah, and Sam, someone also asked if you can add new parameters to existing views or if you need to create a new view.
Yeah, great question. So you can always create or edit views here. So if we wanted to create a brand new one, we could start by clicking the blue link here. You can also, if you look at my view one right here, you can click the dot 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 right here on the side of it and click edit view. And this will take you right into the view and you can start editing from here. And also within this blue link, if you click add edit views, you can go to the edit tab and you can see all of the different views that are available. You can also hide certain ones if you'd like to declutter the UI. And you can also just go into the ones that you've created and edit it the same way here.
Perfect. So let me, Sam, share my screen real quick because someone is asking specifically how you can find articles by Steve Kress and be notified when he posts. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Okay. So I'm on an article by Steve Kress right now. I'm just going to use my pointer to highlight. I got to this article from the homepage in the trending analysis section. So, sometimes Steve's articles pop up there. a lot because they're commonly trending. Um, if I want to follow an analyst from an article, I can click this follow button right at the top of the article. So before I even go down with the article, I can click follow, and now Steve will show up in my analyst section, and he will basically, always give me a notification whenever he posts an article so that I can get that via email or I can get that via push notification and see that whenever Steve is posting something. So that's helpful. Someone also asked about not following specific analysts, but following basically getting articles about uh, a articles related to a stock that they're interested in their portfolio. So you can do that basically by adding a stock to your portfolio or following it, as we call it, from the symbol page. And I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to click to this ticker ATI. Well, I'm actually already following that ticker. So let me pick one that I'm not following. Let's see. Okay. So I'm on Estee Lauder as a ticker. You can see there's a button in the top right corner that says follow. If I click follow, which I just did, it's going to ask me which portfolio I'd like to add this ticker to. And basically, I can choose whatever I want here. You can create a new one. I'm going to select watch list. I'm going to hit apply. It's going to ask me to write down a note, so you can do that if there's something you want to make sure you remember. You can also hit skip here. And then once you do that, you'll see that actually we ask you what type of alerts you'd like to set for this ticker. So you just added it to a portfolio. Do you want to get any alerts for this ticker? Do you want to get analysis alerts? If you check analysis alerts, you'll get a notification every time an article is posted about this stock. If you click quant rating alerts, you'll get an alert when the quant rating changes from, say, sell to buy. And news alerts would be for breaking news, earnings, things of that nature. And once I hit done, my alerts will be updated and I'll get notifications whenever there's an analysis article posted, a quant rating changes, or a news article is posted as well. So that's how you follow articles about a specific stock as opposed to an analyst who posts specific articles.
Great. And then we also had a question about creating a portfolio with a CSV file.
Yes. So you can create a portfolio with a CSV file on the left nav of your screen by clicking Create Portfolio. So you can see I'm kind of in the middle here. My clicker on the left side of the screen says Create Portfolio. I'm going to click that. And there's basically two options. One is to link your broker, so you can link like a Fidelity or a Schwab, and another is uploading a CSV file. So you can click Upload CSV, and we'll basically prompt you to upload that file here. You can click Upload File and get that file in here. It has to be, as you can see, in a specific kind of like format. Has to be limited to 500 symbols. Basically, you can upload a file there, make sure your portfolio has a name, and once you hit upload file, that portfolio will be created pretty easily. And so that's a helpful way to add an existing portfolio with, a bunch of tickers if you wanted to go that route as well. So yeah. And I know we're coming up on time. Just wanted to reiterate, this webinar will be recorded and the recording will be sent out a few days after the webinar. You'll get a notification via email to actually, view the webinar again. Also, the link that I put in the chat related to the premium how-to video playlist, I'll just put it in one more time. If you go to that link and you click follow, you'll get a notification every time a new video is posted. So you'll stay up to date on the new features that we're posting, how they work. Like I said, there's other replays of these webinars that are 30 minutes. And so I would definitely recommend going in there and going through all those videos. And like I said, you'll receive a notification if you follow that playlist whenever we post a new video. So there we go. Thanks everyone for your time. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next webinar. Thanks so
Yep.
much.
Thanks, everyone.